Hey guys, welcome back to another rereading Lore Olympus. You guys really enjoyed the last episode. I figured I'd owe you another few episodes read and maybe might turn this into a series just because it's better to explain some of these things that you see in the comic when you're reading it so people can actually see it and they understand, oh, that's what's going on. And of course, I love poking fun at some of this plot points that just don't make sense. Anyways, grab your drink, grab a snack. We're in for another few episodes of Lore Olympus. And since we have a shit ton of episodes, we're gonna have a lot of material. Alright, so this is episode 5. Okay. Persephone, you've really outdone yourself this time. And of course, we see this opening area. Like, I know it started off with the fogginess, and it's interesting to try and build a dark atmosphere and such. And you're trying your best to kind of keep, like, there's a lot of things I really hate about the backgrounds in this. Like, it feels lazy to me that they're all just one main color, and I get it. You have you have a time limit to, and you can't color everything. But okay, that's what, like, color colorists are for, and I guess we don't have that system anymore because it's like, well, this person draws it, they gotta color and shade it all. So yeah, then we have Persephone. Like, I can give it credit. At least it tries, sort of. I'm seeing some lines that look nice. If you hear any pushing of the bed or pillows, that's Thumbelina. She's sleeping on my bed. And she's just like, she's not going to save me any room when I go to bed. It's going to be like, well, sorry, Mom. I'm going to take over this entire bed. And then Robin's going to join in. And then I'll be the one sleeping on the floor. Which I'm used to. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Bad joke. Bad joke. Anyways, as we push forward, and why? Okay, I'm just a little confused. Like, when you're a goddess of spring, does that mean like the freaking giant pink light follows you everywhere you go? I'm just a little curious. Does anyone explain how this works in this universe? Because I don't remember anyone explaining, oh, that's the power of a god. Because, like, she's in a house. It makes sense if maybe she was outside the house, maybe. But she's inside a house. Is there, like, a freaking light that's just following her? Or is she just, like, glowing just because she can? I'm a little confused here. And if she was glowing by herself, wouldn't she be affecting all the other areas? I'm just... Okay, I'll proceed to continue. And here's the thing with me, like, I feel like a lot of this, like, the reason why there's like a lot of coloring mistakes, like, the pick of the color of, Zeus, Hades, Hera, all the characters is because Rachel basically combined redrawn like comic pages and placed them in with the old ones. And that's why it's confusing, which if she were to fix it, it wouldn't be a big deal because right, this is Rachel we're talking about. Got it. Again, go in. It's like, no way. And here's another thing about the coloring. It's always like, look at this. Look at the details in her eyes. Like, you can take a really good look into this, and I get it. It's part of the coloring process. You see some areas that have not been fully colored. Like, for example, like, near her ear is a little area where Rachel probably erased and didn't notice this one coming out. And I guess she's like drawing single threads of hair, which, okay, cool. Nice to see that. But for some reason, it feels off when the head is also other color of pink, and it just kind of clashes in, and you can't really tell the difference somewhat. So it just kind of blends in, if that makes sense. Anyways, the eyes just like look off. Like, why not just use a full pen? Like, you don't need to use the crayon coloring or the pencil coloring method for this. It's a little bit weird when it just like when it goes outside the black lines on like one of the eyes, it just feels off, or it doesn't go in with the other part of the eye. And then you got to remember the details of the people's eyes. Like, there's always going to be that little pink area where like some of the other tissue is, and you can't really tell if she has that because the rest of her skin is pink, and there's just a lot of complications here, buddy. But okay, it's 9 a.m. How can it still be dark out? Well, whatever. Could be it. No. Oh, we get some direction with the lighting in this. So, is it Persephone, or is it just the, reflections? I feel like it's just the reflections at this point, and it just feels really off that we just we're going down. Sweet revenge. Oh boy. I'm not into this. I'm not happy with myself. Oh my gosh. And here we are with the barely there background. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Does this really pop out as this is totally a area, like, why aren't some of the other colors colored in? Matter of fact, why is the trees blended in? I get that somewhat because they're green, but it's also like, guys, there can be various shades of whatever color and a darker color in these atmospheres. It's all about using that light or atmosphere, blending it into the color. And wait, we're talking about, right, got it, okay, fine, we'll keep going. I'm so uncomfortable right now. Then why the fuck did you do it? Like, eventually Eros is gonna change color, like, later on, episodes from now, when he's a different shade of pink, like Persephone shade of pink. Or I guess he would be using Persephone's first shade of pink, and she'll be a hotter pink. These changes are so annoying to me. Very, very freaking annoying. Anyways, let's press on. Stop fussing and hurry up. Serves her right for being so trusting. I mean, that does seem like a line. Stop fussing and hurry up. I don't know. I think I probably would have said it like, stop your fussing and hurry it up. I don't know. I guess it's just a dialogue thing. Depends on the person. Of course, then we get Aphrodite. And she's just like, Eros, do you know how to pick locks? And again, this plot point just doesn't make sense to me. Like, back when I first read it, it probably made some sense to me. Oh, she was jealous of whoever why these three guys wanted to flirt with her, blah, blah, blah. But then it's just like, with this, it's, looking at it now, it's just like, okay, you don't really care about Hades whatsoever. There's no any memorable moments in Greek mythology that, makes you two connected. It doesn't really seem to help any matters. And of course, some things in this, picture need to be a little bit darker in perspective, but again, probably shouldn't expect much. we're just supposed to focus on the colorful characters up front. Even though, yeah, it does kind of work with blurring out some of the imagery for some backgrounds, but this just feels kind of really lazy. Where, yeah, you kind of understand when it's like fully colored, and then you see the blurs, and that makes some sense, but it's just like one freaking single color, and it's like, okay, I can't tell what's behind here unless I look really closely. Does it ever feel like a lot of the time when they just draw like lips? It's just like, maybe she has lips, now she doesn't. She has lips, now she doesn't. I guess it's somewhat of a perspective thing, okay. Ma, what the fuck are we doing? I left a perfectly good orgy for this. I thought you had an actual emergency. It's late. I'm cold. Look at this girl. She's like the personification of a freaking cinnamon roll. An adorable pink cinnamon roll. Yeah, guys, that's what Rachel wants you guys to think. She's a nice, perfect cinnamon roll, guys. This is basically what we should be focusing on. The guy who just gave her a lot of drinks in order to embarrass her and throw her into the back of some stranger's car. Yeah, that, like, I don't know. If I were at a party and somebody put me to shame, like, oh, and, like, I don't know, I wouldn't pull off a freaking Aphrodite. I would be like, okay, cool. Spill the drink on someone's dress. I felt like that would be more of an appropriate Aphrodite kind of move. Either she would do it to Hades or Persephone, but I don't think she's the kind of girl that would just be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna, spill some drink on you. Or better yet, why not just like put some tension between her and Artemis, considering they do have some stories that I can kind of remember in Greek mythology. I know a few people probably have told me about this, like that there is some relationship between the two. It would have made sense to have her basically be introduced while Artemis is actually walking about and doing something, and then she's just like, oh, who's this? And it's like, oh, her name is Persephone. Like, the whole her being introduced to her while she's freaking drunk, and I'm just sorry, this isn't the best way to meet someone when they're drunk, and then being told by the person handling them who made them drunk, being like, oh, but she's a cinnamon roll. Look at this innocent, sweet little person. She's a freaking cinnamon roll. Like, if this wasn't Eros and was somebody else, like someone else, they probably wouldn't be saying shit like this. But okay, I rest my case. Of course, the color of Aphrodite changes. Because remember, guys, we gotta have that. Like, look at how lavender shaded she is. Lilac shaded, I don't know. And then we're just brought to her being a purple color. I would say a wine purple color. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But then we have her like staring like this. And then you have some of the, like, it feels like she's cross-eyed. I don't know. Why are you jealous of a cinnamon roll? Oh my god. Is this supposed to be a joke? We are carrying a drunk girl. We got drunk. Like, okay. Okay. Let's just take her back to Artemis and tell her you're feeling a bit deranged than usual. Check that sassy attitude, Mr. Man. You still owe me big time after that bullshit you pulled with Psyche. You want to see her, right? Yeah, I thought as much. Yeah, I thought as much. Now help me find his car. Stupid Hades. Since when did you give a crap about the kingdom of the underworld? This is, again, another good point. When the fuck did she give a shit? Why? Why bother? Like, it's one thing if, I don't know, Artemis said, oh yeah, she's definitely better looking than you, than Hades would. That would make somewhat sense, since they have a connection of some kind there to basically be there. But they don't. Like, there's a lot more interesting elements that we could explore from, but no, it's just Aphrodite getting jealous because Hades said she looked better. Like, I mean, Persephone looked better. Oh, it's about respect. I'm pretty sure that breaking into someone else's car is a crime. Listen, and it's not very respectful. Listen, listen. We're gonna hide her in his car, and once he gets home, he'll find her. She'll be super drunk and do a buttload of embarrassing stuff. Problem with your plan, Aphrodite. You don't know what Persephone is like when she's drunk. So basically, you have a chance of her basically probably being one of those drunks that sleeps it off. Or, I don't know, like, I don't think. And if you really think about it, you basically shoved Persephone in to get into a very serious situation that you probably shouldn't put her in. And, the respect thing, it's just like, oh, breaking into someone else's, like, car is a crime and it's not very respectful. It's not very respectful listening to your mom and getting this person drunk off her freaking ass. Like, you're criticizing your mom's situation, but you bring Persephone into them. Like, I'm trying to understand you, dude. I'm trying my best, but okay. He will think she's totally gross. I'm a big stupid idiot, and Aphrodite is the most beautiful goddess ever. And then, since he took her home, super drunk, she'll think he's a creepy old man. That's the plan. Fresh hell, I'm so embarrassed for you right now. Mom, you have such distorted view of people these days. Okay, but I think I can understand what Rachel was trying to aim to do with this, is that she wanted to do the whole setup between, like, Eros and Aphrodite, and having them involved with, like, Hades and Persephone's love story, considering Eros is a god of love, since he helps them get together, so, like, helps people in general get together. And it's just kind of ridiculous. Like, anyways, oh, and Hades is just not looking at the back view mirror at all. It's not until his phone goes off. And, of course, when did you stop seeing the best in people? When did you forget about kindness? When did you forget about love? And of course, we have Cerberus sniffing her out. After they get back, settle down, you might scare her. I'm just going to put you down for a sec, okay? You should drink some water. I'm sorry for manhandling you. If you sleep with your shoes on, you'll get sores on your feet. Trust me, I know. You know what's kind of weird? For someone who's supposed to be rich, like Hades, he doesn't really have any servants in his household. I mean, it's just, wouldn't you expect that from him? I guess not a lot of people want to be his servants, but still. And speaking of which, we don't really see any servants from, like, Zeus or, like, Poseidon either. So it's kind of like, well, what's the frickin' point? Except the only time we really see servants of, or workers of any case, it's like frickin' Demeter, and they're working on a farm. So this is just confusifying. Come on now, stop that. Oh my gosh. I'm going to bed, okay? Good night. It's just freaking ridiculous. I can take you home if you want. I just don't know where you live. Please don't tell my mom how drunk I got tonight. She'll make me move back if she finds out. Your mother, Demeter, and I aren't exactly best buds. I may be a lot of things, but I'm no snitch. Sweetness, don't get worked up. Everything will seem 1,000 times better in the morning. And of course, tucks her in. Again, why doesn't he have, servants, maids, butlers, something? If you're gonna show how powerful these people are, gods are, at least have something there. It feels so weird not seeing any of them actually have a staff to rely on because they're very powerful. But okay, we'll continue on. We'll continue on. We'll get on to episode 6. I spent 20 minutes rambling about episode 5. Okay. And then we have the highlights of the pink coming in. And Persephone. I'm just finishing up, mama. Oh, gosh. Oh, my freaking goodness. Anyways, let's get back to the nightmare. Of course, Persephone is like, greenhouse just for me. And it's like, oh, take a look inside. And it's, a freaking trap. And the use of color in this scene, like, you barely have scenes like this in the series. Like, I would say maybe less than 5% of the time when Rachel actually does scenes like this, it is usually in a flashback or something else. Or in a very important scene, and that's it. I'm not saying it needs to always have this, but it's like, the use of color is important when it comes to scenes like this. Oh, it may seem cruel, but it's for the best. Don't make me stay in here. I promise to be good. When you're in here, no one can hurt you. No one. And of course, Persephone wakes up. It's like, oh my god, where am I? What a weird dream. And this whole thing takes like several episodes to get through. I don't know how long it took, like, yeah. So we basically know where she's at. I'm not going to go through every panel because it's just like, I'm sparing us. Oh yeah, and the glowing effect again. Petals everywhere. Ooh, glowing again. Like, it's not explained. I know she's a goddess of spring, but please, can we get like reference sheets or something? Or information sheets? It's not too late. Of course it stopped. Like, she stops glowing right when he snarls, and Hades is just like, stop that. It's just like, oh, look at how adorable they look, guys. Don't they look adorable that way? Of course, we're getting into episode 7. Oh, guys, don't you think Hades is hot? And by that, it's just, why? Right, because we're supposed to make sure we have a very attractive male lead that doesn't feel forced considering the situation he's in. Wait a second. Shit. Like, there's so many things that are wrong with the pacing of the comic. Like, especially when it comes to the lighting. Like, we do see his white hair visible in here. And I know it's not, look, visible here, and then it darkens up because, like, Rachel doesn't want to do that much work, guys. It's shouldn't be that way. And looking at the freaking water in this, what's going on exactly? Guys, what is going on with the water? Can anyone explain to me what's going on with the water? And of course, we get further and further, and it's just like, oh, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. You'll see. Hey, wait. Easy now. Who's a good boy? Like, oh my gosh. Why do we have to, like, get a close up of her lips? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, we could have just gone to this, like, without the lips. You know? We could have just done that. Was it needed? Not really. Like, there's, like, some... There's some moments where you can get away with that. Of course, I'm seeing some of the erase stuff again on, like, you know, coming from off of Cerberus. But, hey, whatever. And of course, Hades just... Like, this is... Ugh. Ugh. Ugh, God. I really need a nice drink. Is he actually crying? Yes, guys. The kind of guy I want is for a man who's jealous of the dog being touched by me. That's the kind of guy I want. Usually, you know, dog owners generally give off responses like, "Oh, you like him? Oh, that's nice to hear." I would never, if a guy came up to my dog and pet them, I wouldn't say, "Oh man, I've never been so jealous of a dog." And I know it's a thought, but it just, like, when you don't have that much clearance of the difference between that, like, why is it like this? Like, why not have it, like, be in a box? Because if he said that out loud, she would have heard it, right? Yes, she would have heard that. And then he tries to play it cool, and, like, this is so freaking weird to me. Like, oh, I'm gonna be the weird, and then we're gonna get here. We're gonna go here, then we're gonna here. We're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go there. Guys, this is going from really cringy, what the fuck kind of face to sly and cool looking. Like, is this the guy you really, really want? Like, it's not the kind of guy I really want. Okay. It's not just anyone who can reduce the gatekeeper of the underworld to, well, this. Color me impressed. Yeah, cut the bullshit, Hades. You're just... yeah, color me impressed. You wanna go in the shower with me? This is freaking ridiculous. I'm like, if I was in this situation, I wouldn't be like, oh man, color me impressed. Like, oh gosh. And you, what have I told you about being an asshole to guests? 30 minutes outside now. Sorry about that. He's just really enthusiastic. And then their eyes meet and they're just like, in love magic. Our hands are glowing together. Oh, wow. And of course, the freaking crown comes out of nowhere. Oh, God, sorry. I can't seem to get it together today. What's wrong? I don't suppose you have a blanket or a jacket I could borrow. It's really cold here, and this dress isn't really cutting it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I guess the climate is a bit colder in the underworld. I always forget since I'm accustomed to it. Let's see. I know. It should be in here somewhere. I bought Hera a coat for her birthday last year, but she didn't like it and gave it back. You're petite like Hera, so I'm sure it will fit you. What do you think? If you like it, you can keep it. It's beautiful. I can't take this. I would have no way of paying you back. Look, you'd be doing me a favor by taking it. I'm certainly not going to wear it. Yeah, like, why would you have, like, my question is, like, wouldn't you just return the gift if, like, it's not Hera's style? You just, get something that's in her style. That's another thing I was thinking about when I was going through this the other day, and I was just like, well, why don't you just return it and get something she would have liked, or something appropriate that doesn't make it seem like you're hitting on your brother's wife. I'm just okay. And you sure Hera doesn't want it? Very sure. Yeah, you're just keeping it there because you want to sniff it. Oh, yeah, you want to sniff it because Hera touched it. It was probably the last gift you gave her until she decided to break things off, and yeah. I will admit, I have loved this jacket. Like, when I first saw it, when I was, like, first reading this, I really loved this jacket. Still kind of want something like this, but knowing the story behind this jacket, I'm just trying to understand, like, why not just return it? Why not do something else with it? Like, it doesn't make sense to keep it, especially when you're the god of the underworld, and you can basically make a return, and they'll just be like, oh, whoop-de-doo, fine, whatever. Here, have your money back. Or, oh, if you don't want it, here's a different likable jacket in your style, okay? That's what they do. That's whatever. I'm not gonna go into everything. You look sufficient. Oh, yes. Let's go to the kitchen. This is a very awkward thing. Let me guess, it's because he's looking at her boobs. Okay. Looking at her boobs. Because where else would his this is another awkward thing I want to talk about. But did anyone else notice that some of the proportions here look very off? And I'm not saying curvy woman can't do it. I'm saying, doesn't it look like it's missed balance? Like, if you look closely at the picture of Persephone, you may notice that there are some details that are just feeling a little off. Like, aside from the boobs, I feel like that was the only focus on area, and then it's just like, well, Rachel decided, I'm gonna not give a shit. No. It just feels really like one of those paint drawings where basically you get the line and then you fill in the gap and bam, you got it done. That's basically the sum of what Rachel did. And then we got this awkwardness. Like, notice how different these panels are. Like, oh, you look sufficient. Let's go to the kitchen. Like, oh, why not just say you look very pretty? And just say, hey, you want to grab some coffee? Instead of being like, let's go to the kitchen. Because you could have just done that and just be like, oh, do you want to go get some coffee? Like, it feels so awkward with the transition here. It's like, you're looking at her and then it's just like, you look sufficient. And it's like this, and it's just like, you go straight into this. It's the inconsistencies here, guys. The inconsistencies. Like, at least try. Try to make me care. And, of course, notice the smaller pupil and the bigger pupil. Like, it feels really awkward that I don't, like, there's sometimes when you can get away with that, depending on if the character is going crazy or something. But I would imagine going from this to this doesn't really mean crazy. I mean, I guess he's crazy for wanting to get into her shorts. Okay. And yeah, she's lying about liking coffee. She's like right near and looking at like the phone. It's Mente calling. And she's like, oh, who's Mente? And it's like, what? Oh, yeah, my girlfriend. The one like, oh, yeah, I remember her. She's my girlfriend. I'm going to keep going until like episode 10 so I can at least get something done. And, there they are. we just learned about their relationship. And oh yeah, she's just a nymph that I associate with. Smooth move, dumbass. Smooth move. Again, the inconsistencies with the art style. Like, I'm trying. Salutations, Hades here. I'm indisposed. You know what to do. Beep. And of course, meant they not taking that shit from her man. Hey, asshat, stop sulking and pick up the phone. You mean she's your lover? 'Cause you and your brothers are known for your many sordid affairds. Uh, is that actually a word? I don't know. My brain's just like, no, it's not. But you just gotta type in this shit. No, that's not a word. Yeah, I had to Google check that. But I'm just like, wait, is it a new word we all made up now that to say affairs, but it's different? Did it not occur to Rachel when she was posting this? Oh, your many sordid affairs, affards. Oh my God! Why did I say that? Find a filter. Internal screaming. The stupid brothers are already ruining this for me, and they aren't even here. You and your brothers are known for your many sordid affairs? Come on. Do I look like a scoundrel to you? Yes, you do. Like, honestly, if you were, like, doing all this shit in front of me, I'd be like, I'm out the door. I need to get out. Do you mind giving me some space, you dick? You dick bag? I don't know what to call you. But yeah, this makes you a frickin' scoundrel. Yes. I'd say 30% scoundrel at least. And he's like, oh, that's fair. You'll have to let me know if my scoundrel percent increases. Here, careful, it's hot. Okay. Hey, this is sort of awkward, but I'm not really sure how I got here. I think the most awkward thing about this is, why the fuck are you going invisible right now? Like, look at this shit. Is it Rachel's attempt at cheating? I don't know. It's never explained. And the blurriness now, okay, fine. My memories are a little foggy. I know I had too much to drink. Maybe you could fill the blanks. Well, I left the party. I drove home. I only noticed you were in the back of my car when I got here. Bullshit, Hades. You left the party, you noticed Persephone was in your car, and then you were like, well, whoop-de-doo, good for me, I'm gonna have some fun tonight. But wait, I should probably make it seem like I saved her somehow, and then she'll definitely give me better sex than that. That's what you wanted to do, Hades. That is what you wanted to do. Because you can't tell me, for a reasonable person who's driving in your car, like driving your own car, you can't tell me that you didn't notice the pink nymph you were hitting on. You wanted her in your car. You wanted her in your car. I'm sorry, but if I was driving, I would immediately notice if somebody was in the back of my car, okay? Like, either I'm walking to the car and I see somebody inside, because you can't have a car like that and not notice anybody. I only noticed you were in the back of my car when I got here. Bullshit. I call shit on that. Bullshit. You were dead to the world. Quit making yourself sound like you're peaches and cream, buddy. I'm sorry, but again, you're the one who basically wanted her a lot. A lot. Oh, really? That's so embarrassing. Thanks for putting up with me. You're probably really busy. You don't need some amateur goddess barging in on your Sunday morning. Oh, and then, her looking a lot more girlish in this than this picture. Like, it's so weird how the lips go are inconsistent as hell. I would pay you a salary to barge in on every single aspect of my life. What's wrong with you? Get it together. Hey, can you give me a hand? Look, we can do this in the kitchen if you want, but I have to warn you, there are no blinds in here, and my neighbors are super nosy. I don't know. If somebody was directing their back to me, I probably would be like, oh, you need help with your zipper? To put it back up? I don't know. Or the long entanglement of the hair she has. I don't know. The panels are just so freaking dumb. And, we just have, like, Katie's looking like a freaking tween boy here with that expression. Like, oh, yeah, right. Yeah, got it. Why would they mind you? Helping me with my hair. It's a bit of a big deal to deal with on my own. Sorry, I don't mean to be a pest. Blah, blah, blah. She's helping her with her hair. Blah, blah, blah. You little so-and-so. Here, Katie's king of the underworld and god of the dead. And, of course, all this other stuff. And she's just like, oh, Persephone, goddess of spring. I made them myself. And it's like, this says Corey. Miss Corey, do you go by another name? Oh, that's an old one. Could you please give it back? No way, this is hilarious. It's barely legible. My mother says that making things yourself builds character. I have enough character for multiple lifetimes. Oh, sorry. What's wrong? It's just late. It's just last night. I don't understand why Eros would do this. Why would he put me in your car? I must have done something to make him angry. I just moved to the city and I've already messed up so much. And he's like, oh, you didn't do anything wrong. The truth is, it's my fault. I said something about putting Aphrodite to shame. And she's just like, oh, no. And then it's just like, ah, ha, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't believe you. That's a joke, right? You're hilarious. I know you're just trying to make me feel better. Like you'd be stupid enough to compare two goddesses. Yeah, cause you'd have to be an idiot to do that. Yeah, complete idiot. And it's just like, oh, Gaia, not now. Oh my gods. What a cute little Persephone way. And it's just like the small dog. And here's the, oh gosh, oh frick, look at that. Look at how freaking bad that is. Was somebody in editing, like, being like, yeah, this is sure great, guys. This is amazing. This is the perfect panel we want to showcase of our new comic. Yeah, this is totally what everyone wants. Couldn't raise the eyes a little bit. Oh, but it's better now. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh, it's better now. Oh, no, it's not. It's better now. And with the blending of, like, merging of the colors all together, you'd probably think Persephone is a giant puffy dog with a human face. This is how awkward the same color being used, especially with the giant fur jacket. And then you're next to a dog. What do I think? Oh, you're just another dog, but you got a human face, okay? You're basically a werewolf or something. That's not really what people need to see. Now I can't unsee it. Thank you, Rachel, for making this possible for viewers like me. Thank you. This will be one of my haunted visions. If anyone wants to draw this Persephone dog creature that Hades owns as a pet somehow, I don't know how, go ahead. Make my nightmare feel even worse. Anyways. Oh no, it's growling. And then this happens. If the colors weren't merging together with the background, I probably would have thought Hades and Persephone merged into some kind of freakish giant marshmallow piece of gum creature. I don't know. It's like you need lines with this more so than ever. You need a lot of line art, like not a shit ton, but enough to distinguish that this is like, not with the color of the background. This is what's wrong with some of the panels. It just blurs into each other. Like the characters blur into the background, and you can't distinguish what some of the characters look like. It just looks like they're a big wad of bubble gum mixed together of multiple different flavors. Of course, and they kiss. Oh, how many dogs do you have? 7, but it might be 6 soon. Well, aren't you going to tell me their names? Let's see. Cordon Bleu, who you just met, Mushroom, Russell, JP, Fudge, Big John, and finally Cerberus. Oh my gosh. You want to know what the other funny thing is? We don't see a lot of these dogs throughout the series. One of the big things I really wanted to see throughout the series was a lot of Hades', obsession with his dogs. And we don't really see much of that. I mean, I get it. It's all about, Olympus, but, day-to-day life, you'd think there would be some views of the dogs throughout the series. A little bit more so, since he is a dog dad. Like, I never do anything without my dogs. And it's like the biggest insult to any dog parent there is. There's a lack of the dogs in the series. So why even include them if you're just going to only use Cerberus? And at that point, it's just like, well, okay. I guess the other reason is that the 10-year decade thing, and now the dogs are all dead. I don't know. It's just, I haven't really re-looked at every episode to make a coordinated estimation of which dogs we actually see, because that's a lot of hard work. So we don't really see much of the dogs other than Cerberus. And of course, Zeus is calling, interrupts his banging time. Zeus just finished banging Hera, or probably just got up with Hera. I don't know. And then it's just like, oh, family brunch is mandatory. But family brunch is mandatory. 2 brothers, and you still have only child syndrome. Thanks, you and Johnny. God, he's stupid. And then we continue, and then we see them all dressed up, blah, 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 and then we move on to episode 10. This will be a fun, almost hour episode of me going through this with you guys, and you're just like, wow. And trust me, I'm an excellent driver. And then they drive, and she's just like, oh no, I'm sorry for my fuck-ups. Okay, then this happens. Okay, we're going in even more. Let me keep going, and then we're going into Olympus, and it's just so annoying. And of course, we have Artemis, who's already annoying as fuck. And then we have this annoying freaking moment where he's like, made you look, and it's just like, yeah, remind me never to go to the underworld, okay, Artemis? I really want to avoid this weirdo, okay? Okay. And it's like, Artemis is like, come on, Persephone. And she's like, 20%, bye. Yeah, I think Artemis really speaks out for all of us, like, bye, pervert. as much as I dislike a lot of her personality in the series, like especially in this era, I think this is appropriate. This is what we're all saying, okay, guys? This is what we're all saying. Because it doesn't really make much sense for, you know, all this to happen. And I mean, I get it. The whole gist of the whole story to begin with of the Greek myth is that Hades is a giant pervert who just took off with her. But if you're trying to make it so the character is not as bad as his myth counterpart and doing it in a way where it's like, treating Persephone with respect, it's you gotta really do a little bit more than just to make him seem like a weirdo who has a bunch of dogs and, you know, doesn't really, lies about his relationship and all this other shit and just trying to make it seem like it's okay. Okay. Goodbye. And that's the end of that. This is 10 more minutes of bullshit. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it, because let me just tell you, it was both fun in a way to look back at how stupid some of the characters are and how poorly constructed this base of, this layout of a plot is. It's just poorly done. Anyways, if you are new here and if you enjoyed my of my reading of this webtoon, I really hope you subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of reviews, I do discussions about webtoons, I talk about comic books too. I'm all about pop culture. I dabble in everything I can because I enjoy it so much. But yeah, please subscribe if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. So yeah, stay safe, stay cool, and most importantly, guys, stay hydrated. This is Dazzling Kate signing the hell out of here.